Hey Cardinals, I hope this finds you well. My name is Kate Robbins and I'm the Assistant Director of Advising at Concordia Ann Arbor. And today I am here to walk you through how you can begin the process of building your schedule for next year. The schedule is now available in view-only mode, which allows you to map out the classes that you want to take in fall and spring of next year so that when your registration date rolls around, you are ready to register, and it will only take you then a few minutes on that assigned registration date. In a great way, by building your schedule now, you also have lots of time to work with your advisor should you have any questions or time conflicts and different elements that you need to walk through. So I highly advise starting to build your schedule and starting to look at what's available for next year. And today I want to show you how you can do that process. In a large way, I might just be reminding you of some steps that you're already very familiar with, but I want to give you that reminder just in case you have any questions. So to get started with building your schedule, you need to go to the portal. You'll find the portal at my.cuaa.edu, and when you get signed into the portal, you'll be on the home page, but you'll want to navigate to the student tab of the portal. And when you're on the student tab, in the quick links box, which is the second box on that left-hand side, you really will want to utilize the registration tools features for building your schedule and for registering when your official registration date rolls around. So when you click on registration tools, I'm going to use registration tools for the purpose of looking at and building a tentative schedule. I'll walk you through some key steps too when it comes to your registration date, of how you also might need to use registration step 1 and 2 that we just saw on that student tab. But for now, if you click on registration tools, it will take you to a menu that looks just like what I'm seeing right here with several different options. And the option that you can utilize as of right now is browse classes. You will use register for classes when you actually are able to register. But right now you can use browse classes to completely map out what you'll register for on your registration date. When you click on browse classes, it allows you to select a term. I would start by building your fall schedule. So fall of 2020, as it's noted, it's view only. So again, this is not you officially registering for next year, but it's you currently mapping out your schedule so that you are ready for registration. What you can do in this menu then is begin the process of searching for your classes. Now, if you have any questions on what you should be searching for, I'll walk you through as well a few tools that can assist with that. So I'm going to share 2 other tools and then I'll go back to our search feature. So right now I'm going to share a sample academic plan. This is an academic plan that I share with my advisees. What you have gotten from your advisor may look different, and certainly you could connect with them if you have any questions on the different planning materials that they've given to you. But what a student in this case would do, the student would be an accounting major via the sample plan that I've brought up. They'd be looking at their fall of 2020 and spring of 2021 to guide them through what they want to search for. So in this student's case, they're looking at a few of their needed accounting classes, but in other cases, they might also be looking at some of their general education requirements. This would just give them a good reminder of what they had mapped out with their advisor and what they should be looking for fall and spring. Now, one of the key elements for you as a student to do is to look at what's noted in the previous fall and spring semesters and make sure that you have successfully completed those classes. So make sure that you earned the grade that you needed. Make sure you didn't actually change a class or drop a class, because if you did, those are classes you need to be moving over on your academic plan. And you've possibly already worked with your advisor on that, but if you hadn't met with them or shared that with them, you would want to ensure that you're looking at an up-to-date version. So your first step before you really begin searching for classes is looking at your plan, making sure everything is up to date. And then once you know that it is, you can use your fall and spring semester as a guide for what you start to search for. Another tool that you could use is your course catalog, and you should use your course catalog in addition to utilizing the portal. So for that, I'm going to share another screen, and I'm going to bring up a catalog. That way I can present that to you. So in just a moment, I will share that with you. The way you find the catalog, if I go to our home page here, so now you're seeing our main website page. And on the main web page, CUAA.edu, there's a search feature, and when you click on it, course catalogs are one of the first search tools that will pop up. So you'll click on course catalog. Depending on what year you are, you'll want to make sure you're looking at the correct catalog. The undergraduate archive would show you catalogs prior to the current one. And if you click right on undergraduate catalog, that would take you to the current catalog. If you have questions on which catalog you should reference, reach out to your advisor and they can give you guidance in that. But if you were to click on the catalog and go to your corresponding area. So in this case, I'm working with an accounting major. So one thing they'd click on first would be the School of Business, and they would get a reminder of their needed general education courses. But then from there, they'd also click on the accounting major, and they'd get a reminder of their needed accounting classes. And as a student, you want to be tracking that you're completing all of your needed classes via the course catalog. And if you have any questions on that, again, this is a great time of year to be communicating with your advisor and checking in on any of those pieces. But have those tools in front of you as you're doing your search so that you're able to successfully look up classes that you need for next year. But if I were referencing my catalog or referencing that academic plan, I would have seen that I need to look at accounting classes for next year. One of the classes I needed was Accounting 350. So I'd go to my search menu and I would type in accounting as the class for the course number 350, or in some cases, if you needed more than one class, I might not even list a number, but I would have accounting included, and I would have for campus Ann Arbor traditional highlighted. And I recommend always utilizing that filter. When you do not use that filter, you can see classes on all of our campuses. So the Wisconsin campus, any of our centers, and it makes it much more complicated for you to filter to the classes that actually apply to you. So utilize the Ann Arbor traditional student filter and then click search. Now in this case, when I didn't type in the number, I see all of the accounting classes that we are running on our campus in the fall. I can double check all of those pieces by seeing that my term is fall of 2020, the subject I'm looking at right now is accounting, and my campus is Ann Arbor Traditional, and that's one key piece to double check always. You also can double check your campus down in the campus filter below. If ever you want to extend your filters, you can just hover over the line and extend it, and there you see that verification again, that you're looking at the Ann Arbor Traditional filter. Here I would write down the information on the 2 accounting classes I needed. So the student I was looking at needed Accounting 350 and Accounting 441. Since we're not yet able to register, you'll notice typically when you can register, there's a feature over here that clicks Add Class. Right now what I would do is I would write down this information. I'd write down the CRN, and I'll show you how in the end that makes your registration date very simple. I'd write down Accounting 350, the CRN 10567, and I would make a note of the time frame because you want to ensure in the long run that you're not looking at any classes that would lead to a time conflict. So in this case, it's Thursday, 7 to 10. I also would need the class right below it based on the academic plan that I had brought up. Again, I would note the class's information. I would write that down, or I'd type it in a Word document, whatever format you prefer. I would record that CRN. Recording the CRN is very key. That's what's going to make your registration so simple in the long run. And then I would note the time frame. In a great way, right now, no time conflicts. So after I've done that, I'm able to do a search again. And by doing a search again, I can start to look at other classes that I need. If I needed one of my general education classes, I could type in CCE 140, and you'll notice here there's several sections of CCE 140. One key piece of advice I give to students is make sure you look at the classes that you need for your major first, because those often may have one section and you want to look at that section and time frame and record that. Because with the general education courses you need, you'll often find several sections. So then you can look at, among the many options, which time frame of that class will work for you. And always, if you need to move a class to a different semester, it's usually easiest to move one of your general education classes because that runs every semester, while a certain business class may only run in the fall or only in the spring. So I would always build in your program-specific classes and then your general education classes, and consult with your academic plan or your academic advisor if you have questions on that. But I would look at and find the 15 credits of classes that I had mapped out on that academic plan, and I'd record that information, always making sure to write down the CRN number. And you'll see that box that says CRN. If you hover over it, it will tell you the CRN. As a reminder, again, you also can always extend that box just to see the full view of the number from the beginning. Now that will help you out, because when it comes time to register and you're back on your main menu, your registration date's here, you'll click on register for classes. For the purpose of this tutorial, you won't get this menu, sorry, I just get that. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll have to click on spring of 2020 because next year's courses, again, aren't yet listed in the registration menu. So I'll click on spring of 2020 and continue. When you've mapped out all of your CRNs, you can register so quickly by simply clicking on the Enter CRN menu. You'll type in each CRN. I'm just making up CRNs as I go, and then I would click another, add another, and I would do this for all of the classes that I've mapped out. So if I have 5 classes, I'm going to type in all 5 CRNs, double check that they're correct, because even right now, as I'm just typing in numbers, you'll see that it corresponds often to a class. So to have a number off by just 1 digit could end up putting you in a class that you're not planning on. So double check when you type in the CRN that the name and course number that pop up on the side are accurate and you're adding what you thought you were adding. At the end of all of it, when you've done that for your 5 or 6 classes, you can click Add to Summary. It typically would add it to your summary. Right now it's not, because I'm beyond the registration timeframe for this spring semester. But it would add them to your summary, and then you'd be able to click Add Classes. So right now, this is how you can begin the process of searching for your courses. Utilizing that Browse Classes feature, just a reminder, right here, you'll find it on your main page. And then doing that for your fall and your spring semesters. Because right now, fall of 2020 and spring of 2021 are both available in view only. So you can build your full schedule, you can note those CRN numbers, and you will be ready when your registration date comes around. It also gives you a great time to consult with your advisor should you have any questions on how your classes are connecting or overlapping, if any are overlapping in time frame. So I recommend getting started on this process right away and then working with your advisor to ensure you get everything that you need set with your fall and spring schedule should you have any questions on it. The final thing I'll remind you of, one highlight I want to give when your registration date rolls around. I started by clicking on the registration tools menu. When you are actually registering for classes, if you're getting any errors, you need to go to registration step 1. Registration step 1, it's a step you've seen before, but it has 2 action items that you need to do for the school year. And so if you're getting any errors, it's quite possible you need to re-click on the CRIMAX for the 2019-2020 school year. By simply clicking on that, it will load on the other side of your page, and you can acknowledge that you've read the Clery Crime Act and crime statistics, and all of this information is available on the website as well. So take the time you need for that and then click Save. And likewise, once you've saved, you just click on the box right below it, the educational loan statement for that academic year. That will load. You then will have to click Accept there and Save. And once you've done that, there's nothing that takes you back to your main page. But once you've saved both of those elements, you can go back to your first tab. You then can click on registration step 2, and you can proceed with registering for classes. So that all matters for when your official registration date rolls around. Beyond that though, this gives you some tips on how to get started. If you still have further questions, reach out to your academic advisor, but start planning your classes for next year in a great way. The time has come for that. I know many of you are very excited for that. We as advisors are very excited for that. It's great to be thinking ahead to next year, and it will be here before we know it. So I wish you the best in your academic planning, and as you get ready for those classes, I hope this is helpful to you in that process. Have a good day, Cardinals. See you later.